and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things. Today is a non-Sewers Club video for you. If you haven't been on my channel before and you don't know what I'm talking about, hello. Every Wednesday I post a sewing related video. They mostly are about Sewers Club, their projects, their previous patterns, things like that, unboxing their monthly project, etc., etc. But once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on how many weeks there are, I put out a non-Sewers Club related video as well, and that is what we're watching today. Two quick disclaimers, well, a disclaimer and a thank you to start. Disclaimer number one, I have a foster cat. Her name is Susie. She thinks she meows, but all she really does is squeaks. So if you hear any kind of squeaking in the background, that is her. She's been quiet lately, so we'll see if she starts squeaking or not. But if you do hear squeaking, that is her. And then for the thank you, I'm making this video after I published Monday's life update video. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, that's okay. Basically, for those who have seen it and commented or watched it or anything to do with Monday's video, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate all of your comments. The condolences meant the world to me. I never know how to respond to like condolence messages, or comments in person, online, anything like that. So I just want to say thank you all so much. I really appreciated it. If you haven't seen Monday's video and you're new to the channel or whatever like that, don't worry, you don't have to watch it. It has nothing to do with anything really, just kind of an explanation on what's been happening in my life a little bit. So yeah, I've filmed this video a couple of times, and that's as good as that intro is gonna get, I think. So let's get on to talking about this month's bonus project. I don't know. We're revisiting the One Yard Wonders book. Back in the spring, I was in this book once with this Kanzashi clock thing. I was inspired about the petals here to make flowers for a spring wreath. Well, all year round wreath, really. So I did that off of this. So I used this here for that. I didn't make the clock. I might in the future, but it'd make a really cute kind of bulletin board too. Really, like this idea here is just chock full of like things that I could do with it. But yeah, so I made this already. If you want to see me making the flowers, I will link it here for you on an iCard. But today we are talking about this guy, the Tuffet inspired Ottoman. It's a pretty simple project. It's just 2 pieces of fabric and some buttons if you choose. Very simple, very easy. Normally my sewing videos have like several parts to them, like inspiration or unboxing or whatever, but putting the project together, pros, cons, and user error, and final thoughts and sign off. This video is probably going to be a little bit different, just because it's a really simple project. So there may be timestamps, there may not, I'm not sure yet. But anyways, so let's talk quickly about what inspired me to make this cushion, pillow, Ottoman, puff thing. So as I mentioned, I have a foster cat. Her name is Susie. I have a second foster cat right now upstairs. Her name is Hazel. Hazel's great, but she could be very sick, so she's under quarantine for the next couple of weeks. I got her to play with Susie, but then crisis happened, and now she's upstairs being quarantined. She's not sick or anything like that. It's more precautionary than anything. But anyway, back to Susie, back to inspiration. So yeah, I got Susie, and I have a couple of like places where my cat Oscar used to sleep. We have a couple of beds for him. And Susie always seemed a little interested in Oscar's beds, but she never really slept in them or used them. And I think it was because, right, they smelled so much like Oscar, they were kind of like his thing, so she never really tried to take them from him. And I felt kind of bad, because what she would do is she would jump up onto the couch, sniff my husband, sniff Oscar in his bed, and sniff me, and then jump down and make a bed in some packing paper on the floor. And it kind of broke my heart. So I decided I was going to make her a bed instead. And this Ottoman had been on my mind for a while, so I thought, why not do the two things together? Make her a bed and make the Ottoman. The other thing is that she doesn't really like to lie in traditional kinds of things. She likes to jump on things, dive into things, kind of go crazy, rolling around and kicking things, like the pillows upstairs on our bed. That's what she does, right? So I thought, instead of making her or buying her like a traditional bed, if I made her something like this, she might be able to play with it too, and then when she gets tired, settle down on it. But she's a cat, and cats don't cooperate. So we'll get into that when we talk about at the end, but yeah. So I'm going to put this book away for now, and I'm going to talk about the fabric that I used and assembling it. So I got this fabric gifted to me by the Buy Nothing group. It's also where I got the book. If you don't know what Buy Nothing is a local gifting economy on Facebook. It's a group called the Buy Nothing Project. It's an app as well, but basically it's just like a place for your community to exchange items, home decor, furniture, clothing, food, a whole bunch of different things. Right now it's a lot of Halloween stuff floating around. I'll link a video here for you so you can kind of watch more of like what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I got this fabric from the Buy Nothing group. I have quite a bit of it actually. So it's a really like lightweight fleece. It's a little stretchy, right? Like really kind of soft, but not like a really high pile or anything like that. And I thought it would be perfect to make her a little poof. So that's what I started with here. What they required you to do, it's really simple, is they wanted you to cut 2 squares exactly the same size of a 27 by 27 inches. I'm going to use these like little charm pieces as my explanation instead of my normal like shaky cam vlogging kind of way. So basically you took 2 squares from the chart, like 2 perfectly square squares. These can be any size really. They suggested 27 inches. I thought I had cut my original fabric to 27 inches. Turns out it was 24 inches, so my puff is a little bit smaller than what they suggested, but it doesn't affect anything in the outcome. The most important thing is to keep your squares square and exactly the same size. Then what they had you do is they had you pin the squares with the corner of one square into the middle of your other square, so that you kind of created like a zigzaggy kind of shape, leaving a hole on one side so you can stuff it, and also pinning your squares right side together. It's hard to explain it on these because I picked 2 the exact same kind of look. two solid fabrics for my initial explanation, but this is how you start. You overlay one square with the other crossed over it. I can't think of what this word is. But anyway, so that's what your first step. Then you pin it like this, right? So you can see I have corner to center, right? Corner to center, corner to center, and so on and so forth. And now you can kind of see the shape of the puff coming together, right? So here's one side with your wrong side facing. Here's the other side, right? From there you sew it and turn it inside out. And this is kind of what you end up with, right? You can kind of see how this zigzags back and forth. I'm leaving a hole on one side so that you can turn it and stuff it. I just have it pinned by a whole bunch of quilting clips, which is why it's a little bit of a mess. And then you stuff it. I used the stuffing from an old pillow. I have a whole bunch of old pillows lying around. So I took one pillow, it was a queen size pillow, and stuffed it, the stuffing into the poof. Then I closed it up and called it a day. Because I used a slightly stretchy fabric, I did a zigzag stitch on the inside instead of like a regular stitch, just to help accommodate for the slight stretch in the fabric. The last thing that the book wanted you to do was to sew buttons onto each of your like corners. I didn't do that because again it's for a cat, and all that she would end up doing probably is ripping it apart. So yeah, once all the stuffing was in, I hand stitched it closed and called it a day. All right, so here's the finished puff Ottoman project thing. It looks a little bit lumpy, and that's because I didn't do like an overstuffing of it. It's pretty like soft in the center. Like you can't push your hand all the way through or anything. But because I thought that maybe Susie would want to lie on it, I wanted to give it like a little bit of softness. And more if she wanted to like jump into it, she could without it being too firm. Here's what I mean about like zigzag the sides. So here's like one corner, the next corner, right? You can kind of see how it comes up and down, up and down. Here's where I hand closed it. Yep, top, bottom, there's really no difference. I kind of just really kind of like the shape of it. The photos I'll post or whatever will give you a better idea. But yeah, there it is. Here's my Boss speaker thing to give you an idea on how big it is. Right, so it's a decent size. Yeah, so that's it. I will return back to my other filming area to close this out. So there you have it, the puff that my cat doesn't use. I'm going to put a little bit of catnip oil onto it and see if she plays with it that way. If she does, that'll be, I'll include a little video for you at the end. But yeah, so really simple project, really easy to assemble, and I enjoyed making it. So let me know what you think. Do you like this project Did you like the fabric that I chose? Is this something you'd be thinking about making? Depending on how big you make it, you can make some really cool things, I think, with just this simple kind of idea. I like the petals from my last project from this book. I see a lot of possibility in this simple project. And with that, I will say, like the video if you made it to the end. Subscribe. As of recording this video, I was at 152 subscribers, which is really, really awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing. And yeah, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye! Alright, I've sprayed it with the catnip oil. It's been about a minute or so, and she might actually start being interested in it. It's either that or the sunbeam. I can smell the catnip. I might have gone overboard. I always go overboard. Yeah, so I think too much catnip oil. If she starts to play with it, I will post that video to Instagram. I want to get this edited and uploaded, so I don't have time right now. But with all of that being said, I'll repeat what I said a few minutes ago. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye!